is painting a beautiful wedding. I mean, just imagine the most beautiful, the most glorious wedding that you've ever seen. In Revelations 19, verse 7, it says, let's rejoice and be glad and give the glory to him, because the marriage of the Lamb has come, and his bride has what? And his bride has what? His bride has prepared herself. Anybody who's about to get married, I know some of you guys are about to get married, you know, before making the decision to even get engaged, you have to prepare yourself. The groom has to prepare himself, and the bride also has to prepare. And the preparation that I'm talking about here is not getting your nails done and getting your hair done and getting buying all these things. I'm talking about preparation to take away every other relationship and commit yourself to one person. Each and every one of us, before we got married, all of us, we had the decision to make. If we had little boyfriends, little side girlfriends, little things here, little things there, there came a time where we said, I'm going to put you to the side and you to the side. I'm going to eliminate you. I'm going to eliminate you so I can focus on one person, or else the relationship does not work. And so here's what the groom is asking. The groom is saying, the Lamb has come and his bride has prepared herself. The groom is saying this morning, the groom, he is saying to his bride, are you ready? Are you ready to be together? Are you ready for the wedding? Are you committed? Are you loyal? Are you faithful? That's what God is asking today in the context of idolatry. You see, every time these objects or these things, they're in competition with God, they're in competition. God is saying, are you ready? Are you ready for the marriage? Are you ready to be with me? Are you ready to commit yourself to me? Don't get me wrong, these things that compete with God, they're not bad in themselves. But when they are priority over God, God is still looking, he's saying, are you ready? Are you ready? The groom is saying, are you ready? Are you ready? The story is told, let me tell you the story. The story is told of a couple who just got engaged. They just got engaged and they're about to get married. But before getting married, the guy says, honey, I want to get married to you, but I need to go on a business trip. There's a few properties that I own that I need to go sell. And I'm going to go on this business trip. I'm going to go and take care of business, bring back the money in order for us to get married, in order for us to be ready to get married. And the woman says, okay, no problem. Do what you need to do. I'll be here. And but the guy says, the only thing is, I don't know when I'm coming back. And so, this is a business trip. And so the deal may happen in 2 weeks, it may happen in 2 years, it may happen in 3 years, it may happen in 2 days. I don't know when I'm coming back, but for sure, I will be back for you. And when I come back, we can celebrate. And when I come back, we can be together and get married. And so the woman says, no problem, sure, go, I'll take care of business here. Go do what you need to do so we can prepare ourselves to get married. And so that's what they do. And then he goes away on the business trip. And then while he's away on the business trip and, he's calling her and he's checking up on her and they maintain their relationship while he's away. And so when it's almost time for him to come back, he says, well, I'm going to come back, but I want to surprise her. I don't want to really tell her when I'm coming back because I want to offer her a surprise. And so what he does is every time they're on the phone, he starts to give her hints. He starts to give her clues of when he may come back. And so the day before he comes back, he talks to her on the phone and he gives her like strong clues, like someone may be coming tomorrow. I don't know. Someone may be coming tomorrow. And he's giving her these clues, thinking that she would understand that he's actually coming tomorrow. And so he gives her the clues, but he doesn't really tell her that he's coming tomorrow, but he plans to take the trip back the next day. And so the day comes, and then he's ready, he's excited, because in his mind, the woman understood the clues that he was dropping. And while he's on the plane, he's preparing. He's like, man, I can't wait to get home. How is she going to receive me? I bet you she's going to be at the airport waiting for me. There's probably going to be champagne. There's probably going to be cake. It's probably going to be a celebration. She's probably going to bring my family. She's probably going to bring her family. It's going to be such a great celebration at the airport. She's probably going to receive me when I get to the airport. And so he's on the plane just thinking and dreaming of how this would happen. And then he's thinking, and he's happy, he's excited to go back home. And then when he gets off of the plane, he goes through security and does his checkpoints, and he finally arrives to the airport. And then he looks to the right, and the left, and he doesn't see her. And he says, well, maybe she's in the next terminal. So he walks to the next terminal. He walks to Terminal 2. He walks to Terminal 3. He walks to Terminal 4. At this point, he's saying to himself, I don't see her. I don't see her. And she said, okay. He says, okay, no problem. I think what's happening is that the party is probably not in the airport. The party is probably going to happen at the house. Oh, okay, I see what you're doing. I see where you're going with it. She's trying to give me a surprise. I'm thinking that the party's going to be at the airport, but meanwhile, the party's going to be back at the house. So he calls an Uber, and then he gets in the Uber with the mindset that when he gets home, everybody's going to be at the house, and then they're going to throw the party, and then they can finally get married. So while he's on the Uber, he's excited, he is happy, he's thinking of how they're gonna just flip the lights, and everybody's gonna say surprise, and then there's gonna be cake, there's gonna be champagne, there's gonna be a celebration, and everybody's gonna be there so they can party and celebrate the fact that they're getting married. So on the way home, he's driving, and then he gets off of the Uber, and then he's walking in the front yard, and then he sees the doorknob. He takes out his key. He puts the key in the doorknob. He turns the key. He opens the house, and it's dark in the house. And then this is the moment where the adrenaline is rushing, and he's expecting a bunch of people to say surprise, and he cuts on the lights. He looks to the right. He looks to the left. No one is there. As a matter of fact, the house is upside down. It looks like no one has cleaned in this house for over a month. And he says, man, what kind of surprise is this? That's not what I expected. And he goes to the kitchen thinking that maybe the people are hiding, and maybe this is a big joke. And he goes to the kitchen, and then he looks at the kitchen. The kitchen is even worse than the rest of the house. Dishes are all over the place. The ground is dirty. Leftover food all over the place. The kitchen is dirty. And then he says, okay, well, if the party didn't happen at the airport, the party didn't happen at the house, the party is probably in the bedroom. So I'm going to go in the bedroom, because they're probably all waiting for me to give me one big surprise inside of the bedroom. So he goes into the bedroom. He opens up the door. He opens the door. He cuts on the lights. No one is there to say congratulations. He looks to the right. He looks to the left. There's no one there. And then he looks in the middle of the room. He sees his fiancée in the bed watching Netflix. And then he says to the fiancée, hey, honey, I am home. Aren't you happy? Aren't you excited? I'm finally back from my trip, and now I'm ready. I'm ready for the wedding. We're ready to get married. And then the fiance, the girl, looks at him and says, welcome back, honey. I'm a little bit busy right now. I'm watching Netflix. There's some leftover pizza in the fridge. Help yourself to some pizza. It is then that he realized she made no preparation for him. Although she took the clues, she understood the clues, she understood the prophecies, but she made no preparation. Can I tell you that this story that I just told you, if the church is not careful, the same thing can be how the church ends up. Christ, he shed his blood, he sacrificed for his bride, and then he told his bride, just wait here, I'm going away somewhere, I'm going to go prepare some things, and I'm going to come back. But I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to come back. The only thing is I'm going to give you prophecy. I'm going to tell you things that can potentially happen, in like famines and earthquakes and different things that are happening in the world. So even though I won't tell you when I'm coming back, but if you look at the prophecy, the clues, and the hints, you will be able to understand when these things start happening, when the famines start happening, when the earthquakes start happening, when you see that there's a level of cold-heartedness in the world, when you see there's a level of hatred and evil in the world. And so even though I won't tell you when I'm coming, but when you see these things, prepare yourself. At the very least, get the house ready, because I'm not far from coming. The question for the church to ask today, are we prepared? Is the bride prepared to meet the groom?